Chapter 1504. Great Emperor. Lin Xian took a deep breath as his eyes burst out with resplendent light. As long as one was a martial artist, there was no one who didn't want to become a great emperor. This was also Lin Xian's goal. Suppressing the excitement in his heart, Lin Xian began to cultivate. As the fourth-generation Dragon Sword Inheritor's spirit ship, the Black Earth contained many martial arts manuals. These manuals were all Earth-rank martial arts, and the weakest was Earth-rank low-rank. Many of them were Earth-rank mid-rank, and there were even Earth-rank high-rank martial arts. According to Deity, there were Earth-rank top-rank martial arts, but they weren't here and had been destroyed. Deity sighed at this point. The fourth-generation Dragon Sword Inheritor was too young. It could be said that he was assassinated just as he revealed his talent. This also rang an alarm bell for Lin Xian. He knew that once the secret of the great Dragon Sword soul was exposed, he would be pursued endlessly. Earth-rank martial arts were extremely terrifying, but they were also very difficult to cultivate. Especially Earth-rank mid-rank and high-rank martial arts, they were even more difficult and bitter. Therefore, Lin Xian knew that he shouldn't bite off more than he could chew. When choosing martial arts, he was even more careful. In terms of body, Lin Xian found that the longevity incantation was already sufficient and didn't need to use other martial arts. Therefore, Lin Xian only needed to choose between attack and soul power. Among them, there was an Earth-rank martial art, Myriad Sword Arts. Lin Xian liked it very much, because he found that this Myriad Sword Arts could be used together with his Dragon Sword domain to display an extremely powerful battle strength. This Myriad Sword Arts was divided into 3 levels, and the 3rd level was great success. In addition to attack power, there was also soul power as well as other secret arts. It could be said that the martial arts here were very complete and were enough for Lin Xian to cultivate. And Lin Xian was like a sponge, rapidly absorbing them. Just like this, he began his King Realm cultivation. The Black Earth was like a shooting star as it flew in the boundless sea. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Kid will reach the real true spirit continent in about a month's time. On this day, news came from Hey Tuesday. Are we almost there? Lin Xian opened his eyes from his cultivation. He could not help but feel excited again. However, at this moment, there was a sudden tremor, and the entire Black Earth shook. What happened? Lin Xian asked with a frown. Damn it, someone's attacking us. Deity quickly said. Soon after, the surrounding walls flickered, revealing the situation outside. After the previous tremors, the Black Earth had slowed down. Around them, there were 5 huge spirit boats. 4 of them were around them, blocking their way. The 5th person was a burly man standing on the spirit boat right in front of them. What's going on? Lin Xian frowned. Fuck, it's actually pirates. Deity's voice was heavy. I wonder how strong they are? Pirates? Lin Xian's frown deepened. Naturally, he knew what pirates meant. They were definitely powerful martial artists who robbed the passing spirit boats. However, he did not expect that he would encounter them. The people inside, listen up. Hurry up and come out for inspection. Otherwise, don't blame me for destroying your spirit boat. An extremely arrogant voice sounded. At this moment, Murong Qingqing and the other 2 also arrived. What do we do? The 3 looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, on the other hand, had a gloomy expression. He asked, Deity, is this spirit boat sturdy? Don't worry, this Black Earth is definitely beyond your imagination. The other party definitely won't be able to destroy it. Deity was very confident about this. Alright, let's directly drive over and destroy their spirit boat. Lin Xian said. Alright, very violent. I like it. Deity quickly flew and continued to control the spirit boat. In front of them, there were countless people standing on the spirit boat. The person at the front was a burly man with many martial artists beside him. They were actually all 1-star kings. As for the burly man, his aura was even more powerful. He had actually reached 2-star king realm. This kind of cultivation was enough to sweep through the entire Tianwu continent. However, they did not expect that there was only a pirate leader here. From this, one could imagine how developed the martial Tao in the quintessential world was. At this moment, a skinny man beside him said, "Boss, looking at the appearance of that spirit boat, it should be a big fat sheep." The burly man also smiled sinisterly. "This spirit boat is not bad. I like it. Later, let's see who is on it. If they are weak, just kill them. Everything they have is mine." "Don't worry, boss. We know what to do." The few kings beside us all laughed. They were not rookies. They had been pirates here for a long time. Therefore, these things were very easy to do. However, the skinny man soon frowned. This was because he realized that the spirit boat in front of them did not stop as expected. Instead, it flickered with an incomparably terrifying light. "He's trying to escape." "It's just a spirit boat. You want to escape from my hands? You're courting death. Order everyone to attack." The burly man's face darkened as he quickly gave the order. Immediately, the surrounding 4 spirit boats flickered with light and rapidly shot out beams of resplendent light. These light beams were extremely terrifying and contained extremely powerful energy. A 1-star king would not be able to resist them at all. Even a 2-star king would be threatened by them. However, at this moment, the Black Earth was moving at an extremely fast speed. It dodged the 4 pillars of light in an instant and continued to fly forward. What? He dodged them? So fast! The kings were shocked. They did not expect this to happen. The burly man's face was extremely gloomy because he realized that the other party was actually flying towards him. "You dare to charge towards me? You're courting death." The burly man sneered and then said, "Order everyone to attack and destroy this spirit boat." He was too angry. He had been a pirate for so many years, but he had never encountered such a situation. But now, someone actually dared to provoke him. He was courting death. Soon, the spirit boat under his feet slashed out a huge beam of light. It was like a heavenly blade that ruthlessly slashed forward. Suddenly, the void cracked and airwaves rolled. The sky and sea were split open, creating a vacuum. This attack was too powerful and fast. In the blink of an eye, it enveloped the Black Earth. Suddenly, an earth-shattering collision sound rang out. It was like a sudden clap of thunder. The burly man sneered. "How dare you go against me? This is your fate." Before he finished laughing, he suddenly froze. His face froze and his pupils dilated as if he had seen a ghost. This was because he saw a beam of light rushing towards him from the explosion of energy. Chapter 1505. What? Impossible! How is this possible? The burly man was shocked, and the pirates behind him were all stunned. Not only was the other party undamaged, but it was also completely fine. They couldn't believe it. Damn it, what kind of spiritual boat is this? How can it be so powerful? The group of people's faces were gloomy, but soon they screamed. Because the spiritual boat was rapidly charging towards them. "Retreat, quickly retreat!" The burly man roared crazily, while the other pirates felt their scalps go numb as they desperately ran to the sides. Boom! In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound rang out. The Black Earth crashed into the spiritual boat in front of it, causing an earth-shattering tremor as countless shockwaves rolled out. The spiritual boat in front of it was smashed into pieces by the Black Earth. As for the pirates on the spiritual boat, they were directly turned into a bloody mist. The burly man and the other kings escaped relatively quickly, so they weren't knocked down. However, the energy storm that exploded sent them flying. Whoosh whoosh. They all vomited blood, and their faces were pale. The Black Earth didn't stop, and like a meteor, it quickly flew into the distance. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it, what kind of spiritual boat is that? The group of people roared crazily, extremely shocked. They had been pirates for so many years, but they had never seen such a powerful method. Inside the Black Earth snorted in disdain. A group of pirates dare to rob me? If I wasn't worried about the lack of energy, I would have killed them with one blast. Lin Xian and the others also breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the Black Earth was incomparably powerful. Otherwise, it would have been troublesome for him to take action. This was only the beginning. After this, they encountered a few more waves of pirates. However, The Black Earth was still rampaging in an extremely valiant manner. Anyone who dared to intercept was directly smashed and sent flying. Just like that, Lin Xian and the others quickly flew and finally arrived at the quintessential world. Finally, after a year and a month of flying, Lin Xian and the others finally arrived at the quintessential world. The quintessential world was divided into 5 major regions: Eastern Wilderness, Western Desert, Southern Ridge, Northern Plains, and Central Region. Lin Xian and the others had arrived at the Eastern Wasteland. This continent was extremely large, countless times the size of the Sky Martial continent. In fact, in the eyes of the people of the Eastern continent, their Sky Martial continent was called the Sky Martial Island. On the sea, there were several tens of islands similar to the Sky Martial Island. It had to be said that this world was truly too mystical. In the Eastern Wilderness, there were countless forces, including empires, sects, sacred grounds, and worlds. Home Lin Xian and the others were currently approaching one of the empires, the Dashuan Empire. This empire was terrifying. Although it wasn't at the level of a holy land or a clan of the ancients, it was still formidable. It was said that the king of the Dashuan Empire was invincible. He was invincible in the king realm. On the other hand, the clan of the ancients and the peerless sacred grounds had saints. In fact, some of the powers that had produced great emperors before would possess imperial armaments and terrifying foundations. That sort of strength was truly unimaginable. However, all of this was still very far away from Lin Xian. At this moment, they were still in the Dashuan Empire. However, as soon as they came ashore, Lin Xian and the others put away the spiritual boat. This was because there was a huge stone tablet erected by the coast. It was clearly written on it that once one entered the empire, flying with spiritual boats was forbidden. Ordinary kings didn't dare to violate this rule at all. Of course, if one was an invincible king or had surpassed the invincible king, they could naturally ignore it. Lin Xian hadn't reached this level yet, so they stopped, put away the spiritual boat, and entered the Dashuan Empire. However, just putting away the spiritual state wasn't enough. They still had to pay a fee. The coastline was heavily guarded by soldiers. The weakest of those soldiers was an 8th or 9th level venerable, and there were even many half-step kings. These were just ordinary soldiers. Some of the leaders were 1-star and 2-star kings. There were even more terrifying existences. Moreover, there were so many of these kings that almost no one dared to behave atrociously here. Looking at the armored soldiers, Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and the others exclaimed. Powerful, they were too powerful. On the Tianwu continent, kings were at the peak of overlords. However, here, they were only pirate leaders. One could imagine how powerful this world was. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian and the others walked forward. The fee was very simple. It was calculated based on the number of people, 1 subdivinity crystal per person. On the way here, Lin Xian had already learned that the common currency in the true spirit world was subdivinity crystals. There were also spirit stones here, but they were definitely more ordinary. However, they could be exchanged with subdivinity crystals. The exchange rate was that 1 subdivinity crystal was equal to 100 high-grade spirit stones. Lin Xian didn't have many high-grade spirit stones, but Lin Xian still had some subdivinity crystals. Therefore, he could afford to pay these expenses. Soon, the group walked up. The array scanning included the demonic beasts in the storage bags, so Lin Xian and the others spent a total of 6 subdivinity crystals. After paying, they were just about to leave when a hurried sound came from behind. Then, a red spirit boat flew over quickly. The spirit boat was engraved with runes that flickered with cold light. It even emitted an extremely powerful aura. Everyone looked up at the sky. Many people even whispered to each other. Their eyes were filled with shock and envy. Without a doubt, this spirit boat's grade must be extraordinary. At this moment, the spirit boat flickered with light, and then a few figures descended quickly. The first to descend was a youth in a golden robe. He had short hair and a round face. When he smiled, he looked like a Maitreya Buddha. Behind him, 3 figures also descended quickly. They were 3 middle-aged men in black armor. They were expressionless. However, from their auras, one could tell that they were 2-star kings. From their appearance and demeanor, they seemed to be the golden-robed youth's bodyguards. Damn, using 2-star kings as bodyguards. How extravagant! Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and the others were shocked. It seemed that he should be a disciple of a large family. Once the golden-robed youth landed, he looked around. Then he saw Lin Xian and the others. When he saw the 3 beauties beside Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan, he was stunned. He did not expect 3 stunning beauties to gather around a young man. This shocked him. However, he soon looked away and stared at a snow-white little monkey and a dark red dragon. Oh my God, are my eyes playing tricks on me? These are supreme-grade spirit beasts. Although the golden-robed youth was fat, he was not slow at all. He quickly came to Lin Xian's side and stared at the dark red dragon and the snow-white little monkey while drooling. It was as if he had seen a beauty. Chapter 1506. Top quality. Really top quality. This 4-legged snake probably has the bloodline of dragons. And this little white monkey, its aura is very strange. Even I can't see through it. Brother, where did you get these 2 spirit beasts? Why don't you buy them for me? Damn. Lin Xian's mouth twitched slightly. He didn't expect the golden-robed fatty in front of him to be interested in the dark red dragon and the little white monkey. Fuck damn fatty. I really want to kick you. The dark red dragon said through gritted teeth. The little white monkey was also unhappy. It waved its little paws and wanted to pounce. Fortunately, Lin Xian stopped it. Sorry, they are my companions, not pets. Therefore, you'd better not talk about business or anything like that. Lin Xian said coldly before turning around to leave. Brother, if you don't want to sell them, then don't sell them. Let's talk nicely. At least make friends. The golden-robed fatty didn't bully him. Instead, he walked over with a smile. My surname is Luo Zheng, Fatty Luo said with a smile. Brother, how should I address you? Where are you from? Lin Xian from outside. Outside? Are you from one of those islands? Luo Zheng was surprised. The warriors and guards around them were also surprised. They knew that very few people could break into those islands. They didn't expect the group of people in front of them to be from those islands. Luo Zheng was also surprised, but he didn't ask in detail. There were more than 10 islands around, and he might not be able to name them. What he was really interested in were these 2 spirit beasts. So he quickly went up. Brother, why don't we go together? I'm also going to the Dashuan Empire. Sure. Lin Xian saw that he didn't have any bad intentions, so he nodded. He wanted to find someone to ask about the alchemy sect. Judging from Fatty Luo's identity, he should be a young master of an aristocratic family. He should know about the alchemy sect. That's great. Seeing that Lin Xian had agreed, Fatty Luo clapped his hands in joy. Then he said, how about this? There's a city nearby. Let's go there and chat while we eat. Along the way, Fatty Luo kept trying to get close to Lin Xian. Their team also attracted the attention of the crowd. It couldn't be helped. Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan were too beautiful. It was rare for them to see such a beauty. Moreover, from what they knew, such people should be in the hands of peerless experts. Or perhaps he himself was a peerless expert. But now, these 3 women were probably only 1-star king realm cultivators. Moreover, the young man beside them was also a 1-star king realm cultivator. He was pitifully weak. There were even a few cultivators who had secretly followed them from the shore. This was because they had already heard that Lin Xian had come from a distant island and had no background at all. Even if such a person was killed, it probably wouldn't attract much attention. When the time comes to kill that brat, these 3 beauties will be theirs. However, they didn't dare to make a move. This was because Fatty Luo was beside Lin Xian. Fatty Luo's cultivation couldn't be seen clearly, and the 3 bodyguards beside him were all 2-star kings. When the 3 of them worked together, they were extremely powerful. Therefore, the people behind them only followed from afar and didn't dare to make a move. However, they didn't give up. This was because they knew that the 2 of them would eventually separate. When that time came, it would be time for them to make a move. In front, Lin Xian frowned. He could naturally sense the people following behind him. He sneered in his heart and ignored them. He didn't want to cause too much trouble when he first came here. However, if those people behind him were really blind and dared to provoke him, he didn't mind sending them on their way. Ahead, there was a huge city. It was several times larger than any city on the Tianwu continent. After entering the city, Lin Xian realized that not everyone here was a King Realm cultivator. A King Realm cultivator was also an expert in the Dashuan Empire. Other than that, there were even more venerables. This made Lin Xian heave a sigh of relief. It seemed that his situation wasn't too bad. At least, he wasn't at the bottom. He should be considered a middle-level cultivator. Actually, this was very normal. The population of the true spirit world far exceeded that of the Tianwu continent, so there were more kings here. However, King Realm cultivators were extremely powerful, so those who could become kings were all experts. Due to the large population, there were even more people below the King Realm. Venerables could be seen everywhere. Great Wind Restaurant. The arrival of Lin Xian's group attracted the attention of the entire restaurant. Especially those cultivators, their gazes were all on Murong Qingqing and the other two. Murong Qingqing and the other two had cold faces and didn't say a word. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. With a cold snort, Lin Xian's body faintly emitted a terrifying aura. The sword intent was formless, but it was incomparably sharp. The moment it appeared, the atmosphere in the entire restaurant suddenly dropped. Everyone's bodies inexplicably trembled. Immediately, many people retracted their gazes, their hearts filled with shock. However, they didn't think that this aura was emitted by Lin Xian. They thought that it was emitted by the golden-robed fatty beside him and the 3 two-star kings behind him. But no matter what, at least no one dared to look so arrogantly. This restaurant had a total of 3 floors. The hall on the first floor was the largest, and there were hundreds of tables of cultivators sitting inside. There were occasionally many 1-star kings, but most of them were venerables. However, he didn't see any 2-star kings. Lin Xian was slightly surprised, but he didn't ask anything. Instead, he came to an empty table and the group sat down. "Brother, let me tell you, this restaurant is very extraordinary. There's a kind of soup here that's very magical. You'll know in a while." Fatty Luo had a mysterious expression. He instructed a black-clothed bodyguard behind him to order the first 7 dishes. Not long after, a few beautiful maids served some food. Lin Xian looked at the exquisite jade bowl in front of him and was greatly surprised. This was because there was a kind of soup inside that emitted a rich fragrance. Not only him, but Murong Qingqing and the others were also surprised. Meanwhile, Fatty Luo said with a smile, "Brother, try it." Lin Xian nodded. This was the first time he had seen such a delicious soup, so he quickly drank a big mouthful. The taste was very good, but as soon as he drank a mouthful, he felt a wave of heat coming from his body. It was as if he wasn't drinking soup, but an extremely terrifying flame. The heat wave became stronger and stronger, crashing crazily in his body as if it was about to explode. "What's going on?" Lin Xian frowned. On the side, the dark red divine dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others also put down the bowls and chopsticks in their hands and looked at Fatty Luo with uncertain expressions. However, Fatty Luo smiled bitterly. "Fuck, brother, who told you to eat so much? This is called 4-beast soup. It's made from 4 kinds of king beasts. The energy inside is very terrifying. Even kings would take small sips of it." "It's my fault, I didn't explain clearly," Fatty Luo said apologetically. However, at this moment, a disdainful sneer came from the side. "Hey, what an idiot. How dare he drink such a big mouthful? He hasn't even heard of 4-beast soup. Is this guy a country bumpkin?" Chapter 1507. A few disdainful sneers were heard, and their voices were filled with provocation. The sneers came from a few 1-star kings. They had thought that Lin Xian was a young master from some big family, which explained why he had 3 beauties despite his low cultivation. But now, it seemed that this was simply impossible, because all the young masters of the Dashuan Empire knew about the 4-beast soup. However, This young man before them knew nothing about it. Obviously, he came from the countryside. They wouldn't care about such a person with a one-star king cultivation. Lin Xian frowned, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He had sensed many greedy gazes along the way, and it was obvious that it was caused by his low cultivation. If he was an unparalleled expert, these people probably wouldn't even dare to look at him. Although Lin Xian was only a one-star king, his strength had skyrocketed after a year of cultivation. Now, two-star kings were no match for him, and even three-star kings might not be able to defeat him. The great dragon sword soul was an offensive saint art. Now that Lin Xian had entered the king realm, he could unleash the terrifying power of the great dragon sword soul. Therefore, he planned to display his strength to intimidate these people. Otherwise, these people would fly around him like flies, and he would be annoyed just by looking at them. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile as he circulated the art of longevity within his body, quickly absorbing the violent energy. In an instant, the heat on his body disappeared, and even his red skin returned to normal. What? He's fine? How is this possible? Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. They had been paying attention to Lin Xian, especially those one-star kings. They looked at him coldly. This was because the four-beast soup was made from 4 different king demonic beasts, and its energy was extremely terrifying. If he used too much of it, he would probably explode and die. One-star kings couldn't withstand that energy at all. In their opinion, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to escape this fate. However, they didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, the heat on his body had completely disappeared. They couldn't believe it. Damn it, how did he do it? The group of people were shocked, and those king tiers who were sneering also had gloomy expressions as they gnashed their teeth. This was completely different from what they had imagined. On the side, Fatty Luo was also speechless. Then he said with a smile, "Brother, you're really something." Lin Xian also smiled and said, "The soup is not bad. It's delicious." Finally, he picked it up and wanted to drink it again. But at this moment, another group of people walked in from the door. As soon as these people appeared, the originally noisy hall immediately quieted down. That was because the auras of these people were too powerful. They were surrounded by a monstrous killing intent, making them look like killing gods. The person in the lead was a tall and sturdy man. His face was ferocious, and his cultivation was even more powerful. He was a 2-star king. There were many 1-star kings and 9th-level venerables behind him. Damn, the Iron Fist pirates, why are they here? Everyone screamed when they saw this group of people. Many of them trembled and almost knelt on the ground. Pirates were extremely terrifying. They specialized in robbing and killing passing spirit ships at sea. The Iron Fist pirates were one of the more famous pirates. The appearance of this group of people caused the atmosphere in the hall to become extremely heavy. Lin Xian, the dark red dragon, and the others also frowned. This was because they realized that the people who had appeared were the pirates who had intercepted them previously. They hadn't expected the other party to appear here. "Kid, what should we do? Should we attack?" The dark red dragon asked. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. "Don't be anxious. Let's observe the situation first." Although Lin Xian's side didn't attack, the expressions of the Iron Fist pirates changed drastically when they came in. This was especially true for their leader, Iron Fist, who was the burly man, who was staring at Lin Xian. "It's you, it's actually you." He looked at Lin Xian, his voice trembling as a murderous aura surged from his body. Although he hadn't seen Lin Xian before, he sensed the aura of the Black Earth on Lin Xian's body. They remembered the Black Earth very clearly because it was the Black Earth that had destroyed all their spirit ships. It had even killed many of their brothers. Now that he saw Lin Xian, his eyes turned red. However, he soon revealed a sinister smile because he realized that Lin Xian's cultivation was pitifully weak. 1-star kings, they were only 1-star kings. Other than the golden-robed fatty and the 3 bodyguards behind him, the rest were only 1-star kings. This kind of strength couldn't withstand a single blow from him. In particular, there were 3 peerless beauties beside Lin Xian. They made him drool. The heavens are really helping me. Kid, you dared to crash my spirit ship. Today is the day you die." The tall and sturdy man laughed sinisterly. The pirates behind him also laughed sinisterly. What a beautiful girl! He had struck gold. There were probably only a few beauties like her in the entire Dashuan Empire. Who would have thought that we would encounter her? Ha kid, you're dead meat. I advise you to kneel on the ground obediently. Perhaps I can give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll make you regret being born into this world. Sinister voices rang out one after another, and the expressions of everyone in the hall changed. What? That country bumpkin actually provoked the Iron Fist pirate ship? He's dead meat. He's definitely dead meat. Sigh, he's indeed a country bumpkin. Everyone shook their heads and sighed. The one-star kings who had sneered earlier sneered even more. However, it was a pity that these beauties belonged to the Iron Fist pirate ship. At this moment, the golden-robed fatty also frowned. Brother, how did you provoke the Iron Fist pirate ship? They are a group of ruthless people. However, it's fate that brought us together. How about it? Do you need my help? No need. Thank you for your kindness, Brother Luo. I can handle this small matter. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. What? Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. Dealing with the Iron Fist pirate ship was a small matter? Oh heavens, does he even have a brain? Not to mention the surrounding cultivators, even Fatty Luo and the 3 two-star bodyguards behind him were stunned. This was because they could clearly sense that Lin Xian's cultivation was only that of a 1-star king. On the other hand, the captain of the Iron Fist pirate ship was a 2-star king. In addition, there were 7 or 8 1-star kings behind him. This kind of strength was extremely powerful. In the entire hall, perhaps only the 3 2-star kings behind Fatty Luo could contend against them. However, Lin Xian said that this was a small matter. Where did he get his confidence from? Fatty Luo wanted to persuade him again, but the Iron Fist pirate ship opposite him suddenly burst out laughing. What did he say? Deal with us? Ha! What a joke! Kid, do you know who you're talking to? What an idiot! He's dead meat. He's definitely dead meat. Chapter 1508. Boss, let me deal with him. At this moment, a middle-aged man beside the burly man said with a sinister smile. Alright, be careful. Don't kill him all of a sudden. That won't be fun. The Iron Fist pirates joked, not putting Lin Xian and the others in their eyes at all. On the opposite side, Lin Xian was calm and composed. The dark red divine dragon beside him gritted its teeth, itching to attack. However, Murong Qingqing and the others were a little nervous. After all, this was the first time they had seen so many kings, especially the burly man. His aura was even more terrifying than their old ancestors. Such a person could destroy the entire Tianwu continent. Therefore, they could not help but be nervous. On the opposite side, the middle-aged man received the order and took a step forward. The aura on his body quickly condensed. He was a 1-star king, and he was one of the stronger ones. Although this middle-aged man looked ordinary, his aura was abnormally terrifying. He was like a war god that had descended from the 9 heavens, emitting a powerful aura. Kid, let me teach you how to behave. The middle-aged man sneered. Then, his figure flashed and he appeared in front of Lin Xian. His 5 fingers formed a claw and quickly grabbed at Lin Xian's head. The middle-aged man's attack was very spiritual. His palm was like a 5-fingered mountain, resounding through the void and blooming with a resplendent light. If this palm was released, Lin Xian would be crippled even if he did not die. In the entire hall, everyone shook their heads and sighed. However, in the next moment, everyone was stunned. Because the scene of blood splattering out as they had imagined did not happen. In fact, the resplendent palm light also quickly disappeared. Everyone looked carefully and then their mouths fell open. Because in front of them, the middle-aged man's palm was easily grabbed by Lin Xian. What? He caught it. How is this possible? Everyone was shocked and could not believe it. The Iron Fist pirates also frowned. Obviously, Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. The middle-aged man's pupils constricted. He looked at Lin Xian in shock as if he had seen a ghost. How is this possible? How is this possible? How is it possible for him to receive his attack so easily? Damn it, I don't believe it. I must have been careless just now. The middle-aged man roared ferociously. He wanted to withdraw his palm and attack again. However, he realized that he couldn't do it at all. Because his hand was firmly grasped by Lin Xian, he couldn't move at all. What? Such strength? Damn it, get out of my way. The middle-aged man roared as his body exploded with a resplendent light, and a massive amount of power surged towards his opponent's palm. Even if it was a giant mountain, it would still crumble. However, Lin Xian's palm remained unchanged. Kill me with a single palm? Disdain for me? This is your strength? Lin Xian sneered, his eyes emitting a cold light. Then he exerted a little force in his palm, and the middle-aged man in front of him immediately screamed. Hearing this voice, everyone felt their scalps go numb. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. Even Fatty Luo and the 3 two-star bodyguards behind him were shocked. The middle-aged man's expression was hideous. It was too painful. His wrist couldn't take it at all if Lin Xian exerted a little force. However, as a member of the Iron Fist pirate crew, he couldn't beg for mercy in front of so many people, so he could only grit his teeth and speak. Break it if you have the guts, or I'll kill you. Kid, let me go if you know what's good for you. There's no way for you to live after offending our pirate crew. Although he was subdued by Lin Xian, the middle-aged man was still extremely arrogant. However, Lin Xian turned his head and asked, Brother Luo, if I kill these people, will it affect you? Fatty Luo was stunned for a moment before he realized that Lin Xian was thinking for him. Then he chuckled and said, Brother, go ahead. There's no one in the entire Dashuan Empire that can scare me. What arrogance! Lin Xian was slightly surprised. It seemed that Fatty Luo's identity was not simple. However, this was even better. He didn't have to worry anymore. In the next moment, he turned his head and stared at the middle-aged man again with a trace of killing intent in his eyes. What do you want? The middle-aged man trembled under this gaze. Crack! The sound of bones breaking was heard. The middle-aged man screamed because his entire arm had been broken by Lin Xian. Everyone was shocked and their scalps went numb. They didn't expect Lin Xian to really dare to attack. The Iron Fist pirate crew was even more furious. They roared, You're courting death. Soon, 3 one-star kings charged toward Lin Xian. On the other hand, Lin Xian threw out a punch and sent the middle-aged man flying. Then he shouted, Get lost. The 3 one-star kings trembled as if they had been struck by lightning. They spat out mouthfuls of blood and flew backward. Shocked, everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that Lin Xian would be able to injure 3 one-star kings with just a single sound. Isn't this strength a little too terrifying? Damn it, who is this brat? How can he have such powerful battle strength? He hid his strength. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so powerful. Everyone was extremely shocked. They realized that they had underestimated this young man. Injuring 3 one-star kings with a single sound was definitely not something a 1-star king could do. This was at least the strength of a 2-star king. Damn it, we've been deceived. This brat's strength still surpasses 1-star kings. On the opposite side, the Iron Fist pirate crew's expressions were sinister. The burly man's face was especially gloomy. Brat, you've indeed exceeded my expectations. However, do you think you can defeat us like this? You're too naive. Today, I'll show you my strength. The burly man shouted coldly as silver light appeared on his fists. He was a 2-star king and was extremely powerful. He was very close to becoming a 2-star king. With a roar, the burly man punched out with his fists. They were like silver demonic beasts that flickered in the air. Not good, Iron Fist is attacking. Although Iron Fist is arrogant and has killed countless people, his strength is extremely terrifying. Especially his fists, they're even more powerful. Yeah, he should be practicing the 100-crack fist. Looking at his aura, I'm afraid no 2-star king is his match. I wonder how that brat is doing. Can he take it? Impossible. Although that brat has the battle strength of a 2-star king, he's at most an early stage 2-star king. After all, he's still young. I'm afraid he won't be able to block Iron Fist. Everyone was discussing rapidly. However, at this moment, Iron Fist's fists were already flying toward Lin Shui. The entire void trembled as an extremely powerful force ruthlessly rushed toward Lin Xian. This was the power of a two-star king. Moreover, the silver light contained an explosive aura that was extremely terrifying. However, Lin Xian didn't care. He stretched out his hand and grabbed forward. What? He's actually resisting with his bare hands. He doesn't want to live anymore? When everyone saw this scene, their scalps went numb. Iron Fist even roared, "Humph, he's really courting death." Chapter 1509. Boom. The next moment, a deep sound was heard. The entire void cracked open, and a violent aura blew at everyone. The kings were still fine, but the supremacies were even bleeding from their ears and trembling. This punch was too terrifying. However, Iron Fist widened his eyes in disbelief. His body was even trembling slightly. This was because his punch was easily blocked by the other party. Green sword chi circled around the palm. Although it was calm, it was like a huge mountain in front of him. No matter how hard he tried, he could not break it. Iron Fist pirate team? Two-star kings? How arrogant! But I'm curious. Is this what gives you the right to be arrogant in front of me? You're so weak. Lin Xian sneered. Well, he blocked it. He actually blocked Iron Fist's attack? How is this possible? God, I'm not dreaming, am I? At this moment, everyone was extremely shocked, and their bodies were trembling. Especially the people of Iron Fist pirate team. They looked at Lin Xian with a trace of fear. It could not be helped. This was too shocking. One had to know that Iron Fist was their leader, a two-star king. His strength was incomparably terrifying. Moreover, they killed all year round and had a monstrous killing intent. Ordinary kings were no match for them at all. But now, a young man in his 20s had actually blocked Iron Fist's attack. Moreover, he looked very relaxed. This was something that they did not dare to imagine. Lin Xian sneered and gently waved his palm forward. Immediately, the cyan sword chi on his palm rapidly surged, transforming into numerous sharp swords that pierced towards the burly man. Iron Fist's scalp went numb because he could feel the power contained in the green sword chi. It was enough to cut his body open. Damn it, this is impossible. Who is he? How can he have such powerful combat strength? He was simply too shocked. His entire body retreated rapidly like a mountain, moving rapidly in the void. At the same time, countless silver lights condensed on his body, forming a Silver King's domain that completely enveloped him. He's attacking with all his strength. Everyone cried out in shock because they realized that Iron Fist had already used his king's domain. He was definitely going all out. However, the cyan sword ray flickered and slashed down rapidly, instantly slicing apart the silver domain. Bang bang! A low and deep voice sounded. Iron Fist seemed to have suffered a heavy blow, and his body kept retreating. There were several sword scars on his body. They were extremely terrifying, and in some places, white bones could be seen. Heavily injured, he had been heavily injured by his opponent in an instant. This was simply too terrifying. Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw this scene. This was especially true for the members of the Iron Fist pirate group. Their bodies began to tremble as they watched this scene in horror. Impossible! How is this possible? How could Commander lose? Damn it! Who is this kid? How can he be so powerful? At this moment, everyone was terrified. As for the burly man, he struggled to stand up and quickly took out some medicinal pills to stop the injuries on his body. Then, he said fiercely, "Good boy, I'll remember you. However, this matter isn't over yet. Let's wait and see." With a cold snort, the burly man was supported by a few kings and was about to leave. However, at this moment, Lin Xian sneered, "Stop right there. Did I say you could leave?" Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. However, the burly man and the others turned around abruptly. "What did you say? How dare you stop me?" The burly man's face was ferocious. "Kid, let me tell you, I'm from the Zhao family." "What? The Zhao family?" Everyone was shocked when they heard this. They did not expect this pirate group to be from the Zhao family. Is the Zhao family very powerful? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. They're all right. In the Dashuan Empire, they can be considered a powerful force, Fatty Luo said slowly. I see. Lin Xian nodded. At this moment, the burly man in front of him sneered again. How is it, kid? Are you afraid? Let me tell you, you're dead for daring to offend the Zhao family. Kneel down, kowtow to me, and give me these 3 chicks. If you do, I'll consider leaving your corpse intact. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. You talk too much. Lin Xian snorted. I don't care which family you are. If you dare to cross my line, you'll have to pay the price. Break one of your arms and I'll let you leave, Lin Xian's voice rang out. What? Break one of your arms? Hearing this, everyone was shocked and could not believe it. Iron Fist and the others had already revealed their identity as members of the Zhao family. That was an extremely powerful trump card. However, the other party was still unwilling to give up. Was he not afraid of the Zhao family's revenge? Or did he think that he could compete with the Zhao family? Break one of your arms? Kid, dream on. Just you wait. When I return to my family, it'll be the time of your death. Iron Fist sneered and turned to leave. Beside him, the pirates also sneered. Obviously, they did not take Lin Xian's warning to heart. Stubborn. Since it's like this, I'll have to do it myself. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian's figure suddenly disappeared and rushed toward Iron Fist and the others. Kid, you're courting death. Seeing this, the burly man and the others were furious. The other party actually dared to attack. How dare he? With a roar, Iron Fist displayed a Silver King's domain. The other one-star kings also pulled out their swords and sabers. At the same time, kings' domains quickly formed around them. However, Lin Xian was like a ghost as he instantly appeared around them. What? So fast? Everyone was shocked. They did not see how Lin Xian appeared. Moreover, what was even more shocking was that Iron Fist and the others' kings' domains did not affect Lin Xian at all. Crack. The sound of bones breaking was heard, followed by a few screams and blood spurting out. In the next moment, Iron Fist and the others were all sent flying. However, there were many more arms on the ground. Iron Fist fell to the ground, holding his broken arm and roaring ferociously. Until now, he still could not believe that Lin Xian had cut off his right arm. Not only him, but all the people he brought with him also had an arm cut off. How did Lin Xian do it? How could he ignore his Silver King's domain? When everyone saw this scene, they were so shocked that they couldn't even say a word. Powerful. He was too powerful. He did not give them any leeway at all. This is a lesson for you. If there's a next time, I'll kill you. Get out of here. Lin Xian turned around and walked into the restaurant. As for Iron Fist and the others, their faces were filled with fear as they quickly left. Chapter 15:10. For a moment, everyone was terrified, and the entire hall was silent. As for the kings who had mocked Lin Xian before, their bodies started to tremble. Fear, incomparable fear. Previously, they had thought that Lin Xian was a country bumpkin, so they had mocked him. Moreover, they didn't think that Lin Xian was that powerful. But now, they realized that they were completely wrong. Although the other party was only a one-star king realm, his strength was even stronger than a two-star king realm. This was definitely a ferocious person who they could not afford to offend. Therefore, the 3 one-star kings quickly got up and ran outside. They didn't dare to stay here any longer. Seeing that the 3 of them were about to escape, Lin Xian lightly snorted. Immediately, the 3 of them stiffened, and their faces revealed expressions that were uglier than crying. We have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. We have committed many sins in the past. Please be magnanimous and don't hold it against us. Yes, we were wrong. I apologize to you. The attitude of the 3 one-star kings was extremely humble, and they were no longer as arrogant as before. This is a very realistic world. If you don't have power, you will be bullied, and laughed at. If you displayed great power, you would immediately gain respect, status, and status. This was the principle of the entire world. Whether it was the martial heaven continent or the true spirit world, it was the same. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. You're wrong. I don't hold grudges because I usually take revenge on the spot. Spare us! Hearing this, the three of them cried, almost kneeling down. Lin Xian picked up a bowl of 4 beasts soup from the table and walked towards the three of them. I won't make things difficult for you. If each of you takes a big gulp, I'll let you leave. What? Take a big gulp? The three of them even had the heart to die. This was the 4 beasts soup, and its energy was incomparably terrifying. If they drank a big mouthful, they definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the power. However, if they didn't drink it, the result would be even worse. Thinking up to this point, the three of them were so regretful that their intestines turned green. Why did they have to be so mean before? Why did they have to mock the other party? Now that they had fallen to such a state, they deserved it. Bracing themselves, the three of them each drank a big mouthful of the 4 beasts soup. Immediately, their skin turned red, and a violent force rampaged through their bodies, as if it was about to explode. Among them, the weaker one directly vomited blood. The other two had incomparably ugly expressions as they quickly suppressed the energy in their bodies. Then, the three of them struggled to walk out of the door. However, it didn't take long for the other two to suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood. Terrifying, too terrifying. The energy contained within was not something they could withstand. Indeed, if an ordinary 1-star king ordered a bowl of 4 beasts soup, they would have to drink it for at least a day. If it was weaker, it would take 2 or 3 days to completely digest it. As for the three of them, they probably couldn't refine a third of the energy. Lin Xian shook his head. Isn't it just a mouthful of soup? Is there a need for this? How fragile! Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. In the next moment, they widened their eyes because Lin Xian picked up another bowl of 4 beasts soup and drank it in one gulp. Probably not even a 2-star king would dare to drink it in one gulp. Only a 3-star king would dare to do so. However, the young man in front of them was so bold that he directly drank the entire bowl. Lin Xian felt as if he wasn't drinking soup, but a volcano that was about to erupt. The aura in his body quickly boiled. With a loud laugh, Lin Xian quickly used the longevity incantation, displaying an extremely powerful absorption ability. Soon, the violent energy was completely refined by the longevity incantation and turned into his spiritual energy. So satisfying! Lin Xian felt a wave of comfort. Brother, you're so powerful. You really hid your strength well. Even I was almost fooled by you. Fatty Luo was also surprised. Brother, where on earth are you from? Which island could have such a strong person like you? Why do I feel like you're a disciple from a sacred ground or a clan of the ancients? If that's what you think, then so be it. Lin Xian smiled. He wouldn't admit to any of his identities, because the more fog around him, the safer he would be. All right, Fatty Luo, tell me about the pill sect. Lin Xian asked. Hearing this, the corners of Fatty Luo's mouth twitched. Brother, how do you know my nickname? Is it that hard to guess? I can tell just by looking at your face. Lin Xian shrugged. Fatty Luo wanted to cry but had no tears. The 3 bodyguards behind him also twitched their mouths, while Murong Qingqing and the others covered their mouths and chuckled. This smile was like 100 flowers blooming, directly melting the frozen atmosphere. Everyone's eyes were fixed on him. However, this time, they didn't dare to be impudent. They all sat upright and still, looking straight ahead. They didn't dare to look in Lin Xian's direction at all. Seeing this scene, Murong Qingqing and the others laughed loudly. They looked at Lin Xian with eyes full of tenderness. Fatty Luo asked, Brother, why are you asking about the pill sect? Don't tell me you have a grudge with the pill sect? No, you're thinking too much. I want to join the pill sect, and I'm asking if you have a way. Join the pill sect? Fatty Luo was stunned. Are you an alchemist? What, don't I look like one? Lin Xian asked back. I really can't see it. Brother, if you really want to join the pill sect, I do have a way. Let's hear it. This Great Wind restaurant has 3 floors. The first floor is just an ordinary floor. Normally, powerful kings won't be here. They'll go to the second floor. Above this floor is the third floor. That's a place only geniuses can go. Today, there's a small gathering on the third floor, and there's a pill sect disciple among them. Do you want me to introduce you? There's a pill sect disciple on the third floor? Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He didn't expect to meet someone from the pill sect as soon as he arrived in the Dashuan Empire. It seemed like his luck wasn't bad. Okay, let's go take a look. Lin Xian didn't hesitate. He immediately stood up and led Murong Qingqing and the others to the third floor with Fatty Luo. Brother, don't blame me for not reminding you. The third floor isn't a place ordinary people can enter. Either you have status or you have strength. What strength? Lin Xian asked. At least a mid-stage 2-star king. There are even late-stage 2-star king existences. Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded. Although it was only a difference of a few words, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. This was because the king realm was too terrifying. Every increase in strength would cause an earth-shattering change. It could be said that cultivators of the same level had vastly different strengths. Moreover, a late-stage 2-star king was at least at the level of the heavenly netherbird. Chapter 1512. At this moment, everyone on the third floor was stunned. They didn't expect there to be so many people here. But soon after, anger appeared on their faces. This was because they'd noticed that many of them were only 1-star kings. They couldn't even reach the second floor, so how could they enter the third floor? Damn it, how is that guy guarding the door? Why did he let in so much trash? Fuck, who are you calling trash? Fatty Luo and the dark red dragon both jumped up. Of course, I'm talking about you guys. You dare to enter the third floor with such strength? Although I don't know how you guys got in, please get out now. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. A young man in a blue robe stood up. He was quite handsome, but his eyes were very cold, making people feel uncomfortable. Middle stage 2-star kings, you dare to talk big in front of me with such strength? Fatty Luo snorted disdainfully. Come, I'll teach you how to behave. The dark red dragon gnashed his teeth. He was the same as Lin Xian. His strength couldn't be judged by his cultivation. Lin Xian glanced at the people in front of him and then revealed a trace of surprise. He found that these people were all very powerful. The weakest among them was a mid-stage 2-star king, and there were a few late-stage 2-star kings. There were even 1 or 2 whose cultivation he couldn't see clearly. Presumably, they were even more powerful. However, so what if their cultivation was powerful? He wasn't someone who was afraid of trouble. Since these people dared to provoke him, he naturally had to fight back. How did you get in? Of course, by fighting. Don't you know the rules here? Lin Xian looked around, not backing down at all. Before coming to the true spirit world, he had already understood that this was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. Moreover, he had personally experienced it these few days. So, in this place, he had to be strong and couldn't show weakness. Because the weak were bullied and looked down upon. Only the strong could make people respect and fear them. So, Lin Xian's attitude had been very decisive after coming to the true spirit world. Do you think they can pass? The blue-robed man snorted disdainfully. You'll know whether they can or not when you try. Lin Xian took a step forward, and a fierce aura appeared on his body. So strong. The people on the other side were shocked. They didn't think that Lin Xian could release such a terrifying aura. Although he was only a 1-star king, his strength had most likely surpassed the 1-star king realm and reached the 2-star king realm. Not bad indeed. No wonder you can come up here. At this moment, a cold voice sounded from the front. Lin Xian looked in the direction of the voice and was slightly surprised. It was a graceful figure, sitting there quietly. She was very beautiful, but there was a cold aura around her. It was as if nothing could catch her eye. Even for Lin Xian, she only glanced at him. The woman continued, however, by forcefully bringing them up, you've broken the rules. This is not good for them. Another handsome man in a red robe also spoke. Different strengths have different circles of strength. They haven't reached that level yet, so they aren't qualified to enter this circle. So, tell them to leave quickly. The other party's voice was very calm, but there was an irresistible command in it. Lin Xian sneered. Rules are set by people, so they naturally change according to people. There's nothing wrong with this. As for what happens in the future, you don't have to worry about it. Hearing this, the cold woman frowned but didn't say anything. The red-robed man snorted. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with Lin Xian's attitude. However, perhaps because of his status, he didn't attack. However, the blue-robed man who had been hooting earlier sneered. Kid, you're too arrogant. This isn't a place for you to be so presumptuous. Is that so? Let's see what right you have to teach me a lesson. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed, and a cold light flashed in them. Then he strode toward the blue-robed man. You dare to attack me? You're courting death. The blue-robed man was furious and quickly counterattacked. The others also frowned. However, they didn't stop him because they also wanted to break Lin Xian's spirit. Kid, you're too arrogant. Today, I'll teach you how to behave properly. The blue-robed man sneered and pointed his finger. Suddenly, a blue light surged out. It was extremely terrifying and quickly pierced toward Lin Xian. This sword chi was ocean blue and carried a terrifying power. Even an early-stage 2-star king couldn't resist it. Although the blue-robed man was arrogant, his strength was extremely powerful. He had even surpassed the black-robed martial artist who had been guarding the door. Lin Xian, be careful. Murong Qingqing and the others were concerned. The people on the other side sneered and watched. Lin Xian's expression was calm. He looked at the ocean blue sword chi and quickly attacked. He slowly raised his palm and pushed it out. What? He dares to resist with his bare hands? He's really courting death. Someone on the other side sneered. Although Bai Shan is only a mid-stage 2-star king, his strength is indeed powerful. Especially his true martial sword chi, it's extremely powerful. There are very few opponents in the same realm. This guy dares to resist with his bare hands? He's really courting death. Everyone sneered, thinking that Lin Xian was dead meat. However, in the next moment, their expressions froze. Even the cold and haughty woman let out a soft cry of surprise. This was because in Lin Xian's hand, countless green lights surged and flashed rapidly. They formed a green vortex and blasted forward. Suddenly, the true martial sword chi encountered the vortex and quickly disintegrated. It then turned into spiritual chi and was absorbed by the green vortex. What? He broke it? How is this possible? Everyone was shocked. Even the blue-clothed youth, Bai Shan, had a face full of shock. Impossible. How could you break my true martial sword chi? He was too shocked. One should know that his true martial sword chi was a mid-grade earth-class martial art. It was extremely powerful. Very few people in the same realm were his match. However, before he could react, Lin Xian clenched his fist and slashed out a green sword chi. Damn it! Seeing the sword chi, the blue-robed man's expression changed drastically. The pupils of the few people around him shrank. This sword chi was too terrifying. It was much more powerful than the sword chi that the blue-robed man had shot out. Pumph! The blue-robed man snorted. With a shake of his hand, he took out an ancient shield to resist. However, this shield was not formed by spiritual chi. It was a treasure. This was a half-step earth-class treasure. It's very wonderful when combined with this four-beast soup. Moreover, the energy contained in it is extremely terrifying. It can even increase the cultivation of a king tier. So magical? Lin Xian was shocked. The others were also envious. However, Chuyu only made 2 bowls and stopped. It was obvious that this exquisite liquid was extremely precious. Even she was not willing to use too much of it. Brother, I won't stand on ceremony. Fatty Luo was quick to react and snatched a bowl. When the others saw this, they were extremely envious. However, no one dared to snatch it because Fatty Luo's identity was too suspicious. Although they did not believe that Fatty Luo was related to the legendary Luo Badeo, they did not dare to make a move. If it was true, they would be dead. Therefore, they had their eyes on the other bowl. However, in the next moment, the king's faces turned green because the other bowl was picked up by Lin Xian. "You're courting death. How dare you? Kid, put it down." Cold shouts were heard one after another. It was obvious that they had no qualms about Lin Xian. With a cold snort, two people immediately attacked. The auras of these two kings were even more powerful than the man in blue from before. The two of them attacked as fast as lightning without mercy. Immediately, the void trembled and runes flickered. The light quickly enveloped Lin Xian. Scram! Lin Xian shouted coldly and attacked quickly as well. Like an azure dragon emerging from the sea, Lin Xian was extremely powerful. He threw out 2 consecutive palms and quickly exchanged blows with the two kings. Bang bang! A low sound was heard, causing the void to tremble rapidly. If it were not for the many kings suppressing them, the entire building would have been destroyed. Even so, cracks appeared in the void. 2 screams were heard. The two kings who had attacked earlier quickly retreated, their expressions extremely ugly. It was obvious that they had suffered at Lin Xian's hands. D***MN, impossible. How can he be so strong? The two kings were bewildered. They looked at Lin Xian and gritted their teeth, but they did not dare to attack again. Just now, the two of them had attacked with all their might. They were only short of using their king domain, but even so, they were unable to defeat Lin Xian. This was unbelievable. After quickly repelling the two kings, Lin Xian looked around and said, "If anyone else is not convinced, you can come out as soon as possible. Otherwise, you won't have a chance." This voice was very confident. "Kid, you're too arrogant. Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you can defeat a 2-star king. This is not a place where you can be presumptuous." A dignified voice rang out. It was filled with a strong sense of warning and terrifying pressure. As soon as this was said, many kings were shocked. This was because the person who had spoken was a 2-star king. Chapter 15:15. Chu Yu thought for a moment, then said, "I can indeed recommend you to join the Pill sect, but I have a condition." Lin Xian asked, "Oh, condition? What condition?" "Do me a favor. There's a martial arts competition in the Dashuan Empire soon, and I want you to participate." Lin Xian was puzzled. "Participate in the martial arts competition?" Chu Yu said, "Yes, participate in the martial arts competition. Actually, I called these people here for the same reason. This martial arts competition in the Dashuan Empire concerns the distribution of strength among the princes and princesses. As Princess Kai Dai's good friend, I naturally have to help her recruit some geniuses to participate. They're all candidates, and Hai Wuxin is one of them that I've taken a fancy to. But I didn't expect him to be so weak and lose to you in one move." At this point, Chu Yu coldly glanced at Hai Wuxin. Hai Wuxin's face instantly darkened, and he wished he could find a hole to hide in. "Since you defeated him and displayed such strength, you're a suitable candidate. If you can agree to my condition and fight for Princess Kai Dai, I'll help you apply to join the Pill sect. Believe me, with my strength, I can definitely make you join the Pill sect. However, it all depends on your performance." Lin Xian shrugged. "Participate in the martial arts competition? That simple? I thought it was something else. Okay, I agree to your condition. Although your strength is beyond my expectations, I still have to remind you that there are countless experts in the Dashuan Empire, and there are many geniuses in the younger generation. There are even many 3-star kings participating, so you better be careful." "I know." Lin Xian nodded. Then Lin Xian and the others left, because he'd already asked. The martial arts competition in the Dashuan Empire would be held in the Imperial City. There was still more than a month left, so Lin Xian planned to immediately leave for the Dashuan Empire's Imperial City. Fatty Luo came out as well. He looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile, Brother, I didn't expect that we would end up together again." Lin Xian asked curiously, "Why? Are you also participating in this martial arts conference?" "It is indeed related to the martial arts conference, but I am not here to participate in the martial arts conference. I am here for another matter." "What is it?" "Of course it's to open a gambling house. An opportunity like the martial arts competition is naturally a good opportunity to make money. Fatty Luo smiled. But I'm going to see another old friend right now, so I can't go to the Imperial City with you. Don't worry about it. Go do what you need to do, Lin Xian said. Then I'll see you in the Imperial City, Fatty Luo said with a smile. But then he reminded him in a low voice, Brother, let me give you a piece of advice. The 3 women you brought are really too eye-catching. It's fine if you're from the younger generation, but if you're targeted by some old monster, it'll be hard for you to escape. If you really came from overseas, why don't you let them join a sect? That way, their safety will be protected. There are many places in the Dashuan Empire with training halls set up by the major sections. You can test a warrior's aptitude there. Why don't you go there and give it a try? That's good too. Lin Xian nodded. This matter really needed to be considered, because he would join the alchemy sect next. Murong Qingqing and the others were not alchemists, so it was obviously impossible for them to join the alchemy sect. He had to arrange a place for them to go so that he could do other things with ease. Murong Qingqing, Shinjing Qiu, and the others naturally knew about this matter. So they all nodded in agreement. The group bid farewell to Fatty Luo and quickly set off. Lin Xian and the others set off for the Imperial City. Chapter 1516. The group stopped at the Tsangyue Plaza, but they did not immediately go up to test their aptitude, because they did not know how to do the test. In the Tianwu continent, there had never been such a thing. But after looking for a while, they understood. The test was very simple. There were a few colorful light pillars in front of them. As long as they placed their hands on them, they would activate the colorful light pillars. The colorful light pillars were divided into 10 areas. The more light one activated, the higher the talent. As for the theory behind it, Lin Xian and the rest did not know. But according to He Tu's introduction, these light pillars were created by the sacred land. After looking for a while, Lin Xian realized that the Dashuan Empire was not as terrifying as he had imagined. Although there were many kings and geniuses, there were probably no peerless geniuses. This was normal. Even if there were, they would have been taken away by the great sage land. They were the true overlords of the true spirit world. Buzz. A young man in his 20s walked up and activated the light pillars. He only emitted 5 rays of light. Immediately, the crowd cried out in surprise, because this was already considered a very good genius. Ordinary warriors could only activate 2 or 3 rays of light. As for the better geniuses, they could only activate 3 or 4 rays. Activating 5 rays of light could be considered good among the geniuses. Soon, the young man in his 20s stood to the side excitedly. He knew that someone would definitely come to pick him up. After him, another girl around the age of 18 or 19 stepped forward. This young girl had a delicate face and willowy eyebrows. As she walked, she carried a fragrance. Her delicate hands were placed on the light pillars. Then, 7 rays of light lit up. Heavens, are my eyes playing tricks on me? She actually activated 7 rays of light. Genius, this is a top genius. It has been a long time since such a genius appeared. She can definitely enter one of the sacred land's subsidiary sects. At this moment, countless warriors were gathered in the Tsangyue Plaza. When they saw this scene, they all cried out in surprise and looked at the beautiful young girl with envy. The young girl also raised her delicate little face, her expression filled with arrogance. He was like a little princess, surrounded by countless young martial artists. There was no helping it. This was too shocking. 5 rays of light was already considered a very good genius. 7 rays of light was definitely a top genius. She could definitely enter a subsidiary sect. But to enter the sacred land, she was still far from it. It was said that one would need at least 10 rays of light to enter the Holy Land. However, this was too difficult. Not to mention 10 rays of light, even 8 rays of light were rarely seen. Therefore, the fact that the young girl was able to produce 7 rays of light was already a very impressive feat. After that girl, many other warriors went to take the test. However, there were no more shocking geniuses. The best one was only able to light up 6 rays of light. Seeing this scene, the girl from before became even more complacent. She raised her chin high, as if she didn't put anyone in her eyes. "Qingqing, go and give it a try." At this moment, Lin Xian said with a smile. "Okay." Murong Qingqing smiled and nodded. She then let go of Lin Xian's hand and walked forward. Instantly, everyone's attention was drawn to her. It couldn't be helped. Murong Qingqing was too beautiful. Her graceful figure, beautiful face, and temperament made her seem like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. Nothing could be more beautiful. The girl from before was also very beautiful, but compared to Murong Qingqing, she paled in comparison. "She's so beautiful." "Who is she? Since when did the Dashuan Empire have such a beauty? Why didn't I know about her? Damn, she's too beautiful." Not to mention her talent, just her beauty alone is unparalleled in the world. Exclamations were heard. The eyes of the male warriors lit up. Even some of the female warriors were amazed. However, the arrogant girl from before snorted coldly. She was extremely displeased. She was originally the pride of the heavens and the focus of everyone's attention. However, with Murong Qingqing's appearance, everyone's attention was snatched away. No one was paying attention to her. Everyone's attention was on Murong Qingqing. How could the arrogant girl stand this? However, although her expression was ugly, she had to admit that the other party was too beautiful. She couldn't compare to her in terms of looks. She could only grit her teeth and snorted softly, "Just a vase." Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Murong Qingqing slowly walked to the light pillar in front of her. Then she placed her delicate little hand on the light pillar. Everyone held their breaths and watched carefully. Even Lin Xian could not help but feel nervous. That was because this test would determine which faction Murong Qingqing would eventually enter. The light pillar in front of her reacted and flashed rapidly. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light beams. Soon, 5 light beams lit up. 5 light beams. That's not bad. She's already considered a very good genius. That's right. Coupled with her beauty, her status will definitely increase greatly if she enters the faction. Many people were discussing animatedly. Meanwhile, the arrogant girl from before snorted softly. Her eyes were full of disdain. 5 light beams. 2 light beams were lower than hers, which meant that the other party's talent was inferior to hers. So what if she's beautiful? Her talent is inferior to mine. It's useless, the arrogant girl said proudly. However, in the next moment she was stunned. She even widened her eyes in disbelief. That was because after the 5 light beams in front of her, the 6th light beam did not disappear. What? There's more. Everyone was shocked. They looked in front of them in disbelief. 6 light beams. She was already considered a top genius. They did not expect that the beautiful girl would have such good talent. However, in the next moment, they screamed again because they saw the 7th light beam. Heavens, what did I see? The 7th light beam. Another top genius with 7 light beams. Shocking, it was too shocking. That beautiful girl's talent was actually so high. She was a genius. Not only was she beautiful, but her talent was also top-notch. Exclamations sounded one after another. Everyone looked in front of them enviously. Obviously, 7 light beams were already considered a top genius. With such talent, she could still enter the affiliated faction of the sacred ground. Everyone exclaimed. Meanwhile, the arrogant girl from before gritted her teeth. Her beautiful eyes were filled with malice. What happened today? Everyone here saw it. I think it won't be long before the world knows what's right and wrong. So what if they know? By then, you'll be a dead man. The Zhao family elder grinned. Who would stand up for a dead man? Moreover, who do you think dares to mess with the Zhao family? What? The 8th ray of light. How is this possible? Heavens, am I dreaming? 8 rays of light, it's really 8 rays of light. That beautiful woman's talent has already surpassed the Dong family's 2nd young mistress. 8 rays of light, it had been almost 100 years since they last saw one. Heaven-defying. That beautiful woman's talent is simply too high. Everyone discussed animatedly. They were extremely shocked. Meanwhile, Dong Qian's face was pale. Impossible, this is impossible. I don't believe it. This can't be real. What she was most worried about had still happened. The other party had released 8 rays of light, which meant that his talent had already surpassed hers. This made her extremely jealous and shocked at the same time. Meanwhile, the expressions of the Zhao family's martial artists changed drastically. They did not expect the other party's talent to be so high. 8 rays of light was already a genius among geniuses. Such a person would definitely be able to enter a powerful sect. Thinking of this, killing intent surged in their hearts. Kill her. They had to kill her before the people from the other large sects arrived. Otherwise, if she entered a large sect, the Zhao family would definitely suffer. In the next moment, a Zhao family elder roared and pounced over like a ferocious tiger. What? He still wants to attack? Seeing the Zhao family attack, the surrounding martial artists exclaimed in shock. On the other hand, Dong Qian heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that the Zhao family wanted to kill the other party more than she did. As long as the 3 Zhao family elders attacked, the other party would definitely not be able to escape. That was because those 3 elders were late-stage 2-star kings. When they joined forces, they were extremely powerful. No matter how strong the other party was, he would not be able to escape. On the other side, the Zhao family elders had already arrived near Lin Xian. A terrifying palm covered the sky and completely enveloped Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. The wind howled, and the void trembled. This palm could definitely turn a 2-star king into a bloody mist. Therefore, many people exclaimed in shock. In their opinion, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing could not dodge at all. However, Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand, and a black demonic sword appeared in his hand. It was the 9 Darkness demonic sword. In the next moment, he waved the demonic sword, and a black sword chi instantly streaked across the sky. A black crack instantly appeared in the void, but it quickly healed. In the sky, the huge palm quickly disappeared and finally broke into 2 halves. The Zhao family elder also landed on the ground, his body trembling slightly. What's wrong? What happened? Everyone's eyes widened because Lin Xian's sword technique was too fast. They did not see it clearly at all. They only saw Lin Xian pull out a demonic sword, and then the terrifying palm disappeared. Chapter 1520. That old man gave a light push, and immediately, the elder who had attacked earlier fell to the ground with a plop. Judging by his stiffness, he seemed to have lost all signs of life. This made everyone very confused. What happened? Everyone was shocked. They stretched their necks and looked over. Then they screamed. This was because there was a thin red line between the eyebrows of the Zhao family elder, which extended all the way to his abdomen. That was a sword mark. Could it be that the Zhao family elder is dead? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air, extremely shocked. That's right, the Zhao family elder was killed. The red line on his body was the sword mark displayed by Lin Xian. This sword was too fast. No one saw it clearly. Even when the Zhao family elder died, his body did not split open. Impossible, how is this possible? The 2 elders outside felt their scalps go numb. They did not dare to believe it. That was a late-stage 2-star king. His strength was extremely terrifying. However, the other party killed him with a single sword strike. What kind of strength did he have to be able to do that? They did not dare to imagine. Dong Qian was also scared out of her wits. Impossible, I don't believe it. Careless, I must have been careless. Seniors, you must attack with all your might and kill this little thief. Dong Qian screamed crazily. She was too scared. Even a late-stage 2-star king was killed with a single sword strike. They could not resist at all. Hearing Dong Qian's words, the 2 Zhang family elders looked at each other. That's right, we must have been careless. This kid can't be so strong. The 2 of them prepared to attack with all their might and kill Lin Xian. However, at this moment, the light beam behind them changed again. After the 8th light beam, the 9th light beam lit up again. What? 9 rays of light. Everyone was completely dumbfounded. Even the two elders of the Zhao family stopped in their tracks. 9 light beams, what kind of talent was this? It had not appeared for hundreds of years. To be honest, the two of them did not dare to attack at all. If this kind of genius was killed by them, those big sects would definitely be furious. At that time, not only would they suffer, but the entire Zhao family would also be implicated. For a moment, everyone was stunned. At the same time, the people from the major sects also received the news of the test. When they sensed the 9 rays of light, many sects took action. 9 rays of light was already very good. Such a genius must not be missed. Immediately, many sects began to move. They had to snatch this genius before everyone else. However, some of these sects were near while others were far away, but within the Dexian Empire, these sects had their training grounds. The Cool Breeze Dao Hall was a branch of the Cool Breeze faction. One of them, an old man in a green robe, looked at the light pillar in front of him and smiled. A genius with 9 rays of light. I definitely can't miss this opportunity. Haha, I'm the closest to the Dark Moon Dojo. On the other side, a burly middle-aged man in a red robe was moving quickly. Other than that, there was also a Taoist nun riding a blue luan, as well as an expert riding a flying sword. Without exception, they all flew towards the Dark Moon Dojo. It was obvious that their target was the genius who had activated the 9 rays of light. That was Murong Qingqing. However, these people did not know that after they left, the testing light pillar lit up once again. This ray of light was like a divine chain that completely covered the surroundings. The light that it emitted was even brighter than the sun. 10 rays of light. Everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. 10 rays of light. Obviously, they were looking for the peerless genius. Soon, someone's gaze landed on Dong Qian, but Vivian shook her head. Dong Qian was not bad, but now, she was not worth mentioning. Seeing the other party look away, Dong Qian's face turned pale. She was extremely jealous, but she did not dare to be presumptuous. Found her. Soon, the 4 people in the sky smiled. Obviously, they had found the true peerless genius. Murong Qingqing. Murong Qingqing felt the 4 pairs of eyes on her, and her heart skipped a beat. She quickly bowed and greeted the seniors. You are the genius who triggered the 10 light pillars? Among them, the elder of the Cool Breeze sect asked. Yes. Murong Qingqing nodded. Are you willing to join my Cool Breeze sect? Qing Fengzi asked quickly. However, before Murong Qingqing could answer, the other 3 people were unwilling. Qing Fengzi, what do you mean? Among them, the lady in a blue dress asked coldly. That's right. What's so good about your Cool Breeze sect? Why don't you join my Dark Ocean Palace? My Northern Sword sect is better. Voices rang out, filled with strong confidence. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect the 4 of them to fight. However, this also showed how heaven-defying Murong Qingqing's talent was. When the warriors of the Zhao family saw this scene, their faces turned ugly. They knew that there was no hope of killing the other party, at least not now. On the other hand, Dong Qian's face was pale, and she was trembling with anger. This honor originally belonged to her, but it was snatched away by someone else. She was unwilling to accept this. Lin Xian, on the other hand, smiled. He was very satisfied with this scene. However, in the sky, the debate between the 4 experts became more and more intense. At this moment, the lady from the Blue Flower sect said, Let's not fight. Let her choose. But, okay. But, the other 3 agreed. In the next moment, the 4 of them looked at Murong Qingqing again. Little girl, which sect do you want to join? Qing Fengzi asked. My Cool Breeze sect is a subsidiary sect of the Jade Lake's sacred ground. It is very powerful. If you join us, you might have a chance to enter the Jade Lake's sacred ground. Join my Blue Flower sect and you will have a chance too. The lady in blue did not let it go. Obviously, the Blue Flower sect was also a subsidiary sect of the Jade Lake's sacred ground. The Dark Ocean Palace is better. If you join, I will let you become a core disciple. The burly middle-aged man said. Core disciple. Hearing this, everyone exclaimed. They did not expect that the other party would become a core disciple as soon as she entered. There were different types of sect disciples, and the best type was the core disciple. This condition moved countless people. The North Sword sect's treatment is better. I will recommend you to become the sect leader's disciple. Whoosh! Everyone was shocked and went crazy. Chapter 1529. Don't think too much. We're just here to ask about the person who defeated you, the bald young man said. Although they didn't show it, there was a trace of mockery on their faces. Obviously, they were disdainful of Dong Qianshan's defeat, especially at the hands of a one-star king. Humph. That kid is called Lin Xian. I don't know where he's from. However, the aura he released is indeed that of a one-star king, but his strength has surpassed that of a three-star king. You don't have to mock me. If you don't believe me, you can challenge him and see if he's as powerful as the rumors say. What? He's really only a one-star king? Hearing this, everyone's expression became strange. As for the bald youth from before, the corner of his mouth revealed a trace of disdain. He's really a one-star king. I say, Dong Qianshan, you're really regressing. You actually lost to a one-star king. I really don't know how someone like you can become the third prince's subordinate. Don't be so arrogant. I can guarantee that you'll definitely lose if you fight with that person. Dong Qianshan stared at the bald young man with a cold expression. Then he continued in a cold voice, since you already know about that young man, there's no need for you to stay in my family. Gentlemen, please. After saying that, he waved his sleeve and ignored these people. His figure flickered and flew down. Although these people were investigating Lin Xian's whereabouts, they had undoubtedly opened up a scar in his heart. This made him very unhappy. Alright, let's go and meet that guy called Lin Xian. Let's see if he's as powerful as the rumors say. Or is someone so useless that he can't even withstand a single blow? Then, the bald young man laughed loudly 3 times. Then, his body rose from the ground and rushed into the sky like a stream of light. The figures of the other few people also swayed and disappeared into the sky. Of course, they didn't know where Lin Xian was, but they could guess that since he was invited by Princess Kai Dai, he must be participating in the martial arts conference. The martial arts conference was held in the imperial city of the Dashuan Empire. Therefore, they only needed to head to the imperial city. These people turned into streaks of light, with ferocious smiles on their faces, and quickly rushed towards the imperial city. The imperial city was the most prosperous city in the Dashuan Empire. The area it occupied was as large as a small country. One could only imagine how prosperous the imperial city was. Half a month later, Lin Xian arrived at the bustling royal city. Along the way, he heard news about himself everywhere. However, no one came to bother him. The reason was very simple. Not many people had actually seen him before. Most of them had only heard about him from rumors. However, along the way, he also learned about the current situation of the Dashuan Empire. Within the Dashuan Empire, the power of the clans had reached an unimaginable height. Among them, the most powerful family was the royal family of the Dashuan Empire, the Yuan family. And this martial arts conference was held by the Yuan family for these princes and princesses. Among these princes and princesses, the first prince and the third prince were the strongest and were in the first echelon. The second echelon consisted of Princess Kai Dai, the 7th prince, and the 4th prince. In addition, there were also the 3rd and 4th echelons. However, these princes were relatively weak, so Lin Xian did not pay attention to them. Lin Xian was very curious about this Princess Kai Dai. Because among so many experts, most of them were princes, and only one was a princess. One could imagine that she must be a very outstanding talent. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to be in the 2nd echelon among so many princes. After arriving at the imperial city, Lin Xian did not go to the princess mansion. Instead, he strolled around and experienced the prosperity of the Dashuan Empire's imperial city. Fengyue Brothel was a very famous restaurant in the imperial city. Here, genius warriors from various aristocratic families could often be seen. Sometimes, even princes could be seen. It could be said that this was one of the most lively places in the imperial city. Lin Xian entered the Fengyue Brothel and ordered a pot of good wine and a few exquisite dishes. Then, he sat by the window and slowly tasted the wine. During this time, a few disciples from aristocratic families were talking loudly. The news they were talking about was very strange. It was all some strange news in the eastern wilderness. It could not be helped. The eastern wilderness was too mysterious. There were many powerful warriors who were like gods and demons. Did you know? It said that an ancient tomb was dug up not long ago. It seems to be the cave of an expert from ancient times. It alarmed the clans of the ancients and the peerless sacred grounds. I heard about it too. It said that an incredible treasure appeared and was obtained by the Yi family in the end. I don't think so. Both the Jade Lake Sacred Ground and the Purple Dawn Sacred Ground are incomparably terrifying. Even if the Yi family is a clan of the ancients, they can't stop the other provinces from joining forces with the Time Sacred Ground, right? Who knows? Anyway, it's all about the clans of the ancients and the peerless sacred grounds. The others can't get it at all. Yeah, and the Yi family is very terrifying. Back then, Emperor Yi single-handedly dominated the ancient times and suppressed the 9 heavens and 10 lands. He can be said to be extremely powerful. I'm afraid that even among the great emperors, he's a very powerful existence. These people discussed animatedly. Most of them were talking about the rumors. However, this kind of new secret rumor was hard for ordinary people to hear. Therefore, all the warriors in the restaurant listened with great interest. Even Lin Xian was very curious. Emperor Yi? Is the Yi family one of the clans of the ancients? Lin Xian asked in a low voice. Yes, the Yi family is one of the clans of the ancients. They once had a great emperor called Emperor Yi. It's said that he's very terrifying. Even among the great emperors, he's a very powerful existence. He Tu said in a deep voice. The dark red divine dragon was drooling. Damn, what kind of treasure did they dig up? Even the clans of the ancients and the sacred grounds were alarmed? It must be a shocking treasure. Damn, I want to go too. The dark red divine dragon was a restless person. Naturally, he was drooling over such a good thing. He Tu ruthlessly attacked. You're not even enough to fill the gaps between their teeth. I reckon that the aftermath can blast you to death. If you ask me, it's more likely that the ancestors of you dragons are going. Lin Xian was also puzzled. By the way, ruffian dragon, aren't you a dragon? Where's your family? Why haven't I seen you go back? Is it not in the eastern continent? Humph. I ran away from home. Don't mention any family to me. The dark red divine dragon was very unhappy when he heard the word family. There must be a story behind it. However, since the dark red divine dragon was unwilling, Lin Xian did not ask. Chapter 1530. Let's not talk about that. After all, the remote antiquity families and the peerless sanctuary are too far away from us. Let's talk about the internal affairs of the Dashuan Empire. Internal affairs? What's there to talk about? The only thing we can talk about is the upcoming martial arts conference. Hey, have you heard? It said that a mysterious young man appeared at the Azure Moon Dojo and defeated Dong Qianshan in a very powerful manner. I heard about it too. It said that the mysterious young man is only a 1-star king. It's just a rumor. Don't take it seriously. That person must be hiding his strength. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to defeat a 3-star king. Unless he's one of those sanctuary geniuses. But why would those disciples from the sanctuary and remote antiquity families come to the Dashuan Empire to be Princess Katie's subordinate? So, that person must be hiding his strength. Yeah, no matter how powerful he is, he only defeated Dong Qianshan. It's impossible for him to defeat all of the third prince's subordinates. Indeed, Dong Qianshan is only ranked 10th among the third prince's subordinates. No matter how strong that person is, he won't be able to make it into the top 5. It's impossible for Princess Kai Dai to enter the first tier. Yeah, other than the first prince and the third prince, the others won't be able to enter the first tier. There are only a few people in the second tier. However, I heard that other than the disciples from the Dashuan Empire, there are also people from the surrounding countries and even the islands who want to participate in the martial arts conference. What a bunch of idiots! Is the Dashuan Empire's martial arts conference that easy to participate in? Those people are just frogs at the bottom of a well. They're delusional to think that they can amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. They're really courting death. The group of people joked and laughed. However, at this moment, a cold snort came from the side. Just a few stubborn disciples from the aristocratic families. How dare they talk nonsense here? What a joke! Hearing this, everyone's expression changed and they all turned their heads to look. They saw a black-clothed young man sitting not far away. His expression was extremely cold. The cold words from before were spoken by him. However, a few well-dressed young masters of aristocratic families sitting in the center only glanced at him coldly. Then they ignored him. They ignored him as if he was air. Then they started chatting and laughing again. Actually, there are many aspects to this matter. Although the martial arts of these countries are not good, that woman is very beautiful. Some of them are even famous throughout the world. Now that you mention it, I remember. It is said that there were 3 exceptional beauties in the Azure Moon Plaza. 2 of them entered the sacred land, and the last one went somewhere unknown. But it shouldn't be too bad. Let's not think about entering the Holy Land. I can consider the beauties from the nearby countries. It's their good fortune that they married into the aristocratic families of the Dashuan Empire. I heard that in Jinju country, there's a beauty called Jade Beauty. I wonder if she came this time? Aya, who wants to sleep with that kind of beauty for a night? I'm willing to spend any amount of money. The few of them chatted and laughed, completely ignoring the surrounding countries. Jinju country, Li Fang, come to ask for advice. I'd like to see what you hedonistic sons have to be so arrogant about. The young man in black who snorted previously stood up again, his eyes full of killing intent. Seeing this scene, everyone exclaimed. They did not expect this young man to be a warrior from Jinju country. No wonder he was so angry before. Chapter 1531. I'm Han Kuan from Jinju country. A tall and sturdy young man stood up and walked over with large strides. His body exuded a terrifying aura like a demonic mountain, causing the entire void to tremble rapidly. However, at this time, a beautiful little maid blocked his way. My master invites you to have tea. I'll let you be proud for a while. In a while, I'll let you know the power of Jinju country. Han Kuan snorted and followed the little maid into a private room. Hey, you really don't know life from death. If someone hadn't stopped you, I'm afraid you'd be a dead man now. Several disciples from influential families sneered. Do these countries really think that there are experts? No, to be exact, there should be 1 or 1.5. One of the disciples from influential families said in a deep voice. There's actually another person? Why didn't I know? Who is it? Demonic Blade Ren Tianya. Demonic Blade? You mean him? Hearing this, several disciples from influential families nodded slightly. He could indeed be considered an expert. I also heard that his blade technique is very fast. No one could see him make a move. Anyone who saw him draw his blade is already dead. But speaking of which, no one knows where he came from, so he can't be considered as a person from the surrounding countries. That's right, several people nodded in agreement. However, someone asked, who's the other half? It's the mysterious young man who defeated Dong Qianshan in Sangyue Square. Although I don't know where he came from, he should be considered as half an expert. Not bad, to be able to defeat Dong Qianshan, he's indeed an expert. I didn't expect that the surrounding countries only had 1.5 experts. However, it's not certain whether these 2 people are from these countries. It seems that our Dashuan Empire is still the most powerful. There are so many outstanding people. Hearing this, the martial practitioners of the great Xian Empire all laughed, whereas the martial practitioners from the surrounding countries all had gloomy expressions. Being ridiculed in public, they naturally lost face. Moreover, many people were furious. However, the methods used by the disciples from influential families were too terrifying. These people were not ignorant and incompetent stubborn disciples, but powerful disciples of aristocratic families. Therefore, they had the right to be arrogant. If Ren Tianya was here, they definitely wouldn't dare to be arrogant. Several martial artists from the neighboring countries gritted their teeth. Ren Tianya was a very valiant martial artist. He was very famous for his swift saber moves. No one had seen him make a move. Anyone who had seen him draw his saber had been killed. No one knew which country he came from, but it was said that he often appeared in the surrounding countries. If that mysterious expert was here, these people wouldn't dare to act like this. The mysterious powerhouse they spoke of was naturally Lin Xian. Ever since Lin Xian had injured Dong Qianshan last time, it could be said that his reputation had spread. Now, everyone knew that such an existence existed. However, what they didn't know was that Lin Xian was currently in the Wind Moon restaurant. In another private room, the tall Han Kuan sat there with an extremely solemn expression. He looked at the martial artists opposite him and slowly said, "Thank you for your good intentions, but that guy is really too hateful. He actually dared to humiliate my Jinju country in public. Therefore, this battle must go on no matter what." At this moment, sitting opposite Han Kuan were several martial artists. They were all young and did not exceed 30 years old. Among them, there was a woman who was very beautiful. Her delicate face looked as if it was carved out of jade. Not only that, that pair of bright and beautiful eyes were full of spirituality. Do you really think that you can ignore everything just because you're from the Dashuan Empire? Is this the power of an aristocratic family disciple? That's all there is to it. A group of people mocked and ridiculed. It was obvious that they were already very dissatisfied with these aristocratic family disciples, but they didn't dare to say it before. Now that they saw that someone could resist the blue sky fire, they immediately began to mock and ridicule. On the other hand, the aristocratic family disciples had cold smiles on their faces. Zhou Tian even snorted coldly, then quickly waved his arm. The green palace quickly flew out, following his movements and blasting forward. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and the green palace emitted an incomparably bright light, directly tearing the red flames apart. Then, it violently slammed into the young man from the Fire Cloud Nation. Boom! As if struck by lightning, the youth from the Flaming Shadow Nation spat out large mouthfuls of blood and flew backward. The red flames that filled the sky also disappeared in an instant. What? He lost. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. As for the warriors from the surrounding countries, their faces turned pale in disbelief. Lost? How could he have lost? Weren't they evenly matched just now? What happened? How could he lose in an instant? They really couldn't understand, and all of them looked desperate. On the other hand, the aristocratic family disciples laughed loudly. How could Zhou Tian lose to someone else? Now it seems that he was indeed hiding his strength. Of course. I just wanted to play with him. But now, I'm not in the mood. Zhou Tian also sneered. What? Hiding his strength? How could he still be hiding his strength? How strong is he? When the warriors from the surrounding countries heard this, their faces turned pale. They didn't dare to imagine what kind of strength the other party had. However, Zhou Tian sneered, "All right everyone, we're going to have a heart-to-heart talk with the two beauties. Those who have nothing to do with it should leave quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for starting a massacre. Don't be so arrogant. I'll do it." The Jade Beauty's brother roared and took a step forward. His body emitted an extremely terrifying energy. At the same time, the surrounding warriors also had ferocious expressions on their faces. The auras from their bodies were linked together as if they were going to collapse the entire sky. In an instant, the aura of energy swept through the entire void. In fact, there were even cracks appearing in many places. What? You want to fight? Zhou Tian sneered. The other aristocratic family disciples also snorted coldly. Then, they stood together and displayed their king's domain. Suddenly, a monstrous and terrifying aura spread out. It was as if 100,000 mountains were pressing down on the sky. Immediately, the surrounding warriors were all pushed back. What? They're so strong? How is that possible? How can they be so strong? Previously, when these disciples of the aristocratic families were fighting with the warriors from the surrounding countries, he had only watched without any intention of interfering, because these things had nothing to do with him. However, just because he didn't cause trouble didn't mean that he was afraid of trouble. Later, these disciples of the aristocratic families chased everyone out of Wind Moon Restaurant, which undoubtedly made him unhappy. After all, he was also drinking in Wind Moon Restaurant. Now, the other party was even more aggressive and wanted to attack him. How could he tolerate that? In the next moment, Lin Xian frowned and said coldly, "Why? Is it very difficult to dodge your attack?" Although his voice was steady, it contained a trace of disdain. It was as if dodging that murderous sound wave was an extremely ordinary thing. "How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Do you know who I am?" The disciple of the aristocratic family had a gloomy expression, and his voice was cold and murderous. "Who you are has nothing to do with me. As long as you don't disturb me while I'm drinking, I won't attack you," Lin Xian said slowly. "What? You still want to attack me?" When the disciples of the aristocratic families heard that, they were so angry that they laughed. Could. Kid, looks like the warning I gave you just now wasn't enough. What? Do you want me to break your legs personally and make you crawl here? Only then will you be afraid, right? Why waste time talking to him? Just break his legs and throw him out. Don't waste our time here. Yeah, don't you see the two beauties beside him waiting anxiously? Ha, kid, you don't know what's good for you. Consider yourself unlucky to be in our line of fire. In my opinion, there's no need to throw you out. It'll save us a lot of trouble if we just kill you. All right, I'll do it. I'll burn him to ashes. That way, nothing will be left and we won't be disturbed. Zhou Tian said casually, then he struck out with his palm. To be honest, he did not care about Lin Xian at all. Because he had already checked earlier on. Lin Xian was only a one-star king. This kind of cultivation did not interest him at all. After all, even a 3-star king might not be a match for him, much less a 1-star king. In the next moment, a green flame flew out from between his fingers and quickly floated toward Lin Xian. When they saw the green flame, Jade Beauty and Bai Yuran screamed again. This was not the first time the green flame had appeared, and each time, it displayed great power. When the assassin used it again, the other party would not be able to resist. They were not the only ones. The surrounding ancient martial art practitioners also cried out in alarm. Because although those ancient martial art practitioners had been sent flying, they had not left. At that moment, they were all watching from the vicinity of Fengyue Brothel. However, Zhou Tian and the others had set up an array around Fengyue Brothel. They could only see the situation inside but could not enter. Even if they tried to break the array forcefully, they could not break it. They could only wait anxiously outside. Earlier on, when they saw that there was someone else in Fengyue Brothel, they were all shocked. But when they saw that the other party was only a 1-star king, they immediately shook their heads and sighed. Because such a person would not be of any use at all. He would only be killed. But when the other party successfully dispelled the murderous sound wave, they all cried out in alarm. Because they did not know what method the other party had used to dispel the murderous sound wave. However, there were even more people who attributed what had happened earlier to luck. These two people could be said to be invincible among the younger generation of the Dashuan Empire. And in this martial arts conference, these two people's names were the most famous. In the Misty Wave Mountain Villa, a fat man in a golden robe was scanning the surroundings with his eyes. It seemed as if he was looking for someone. "Fatty Luo, what are you looking for? I bet you won't find it." Chapter 1539. Fatty Luo, what are you looking for? I bet you won't find it. A skinny young man beside him said with a smile. Gambler. You only know how to do it. Do you know anything else? Fatty Luo was impatient. Don't disturb me. I'm looking for someone. Looking for someone? Let me guess. I bet it's a woman. Ha, you guessed wrong this time. It's a man. Damn. Fatty Luo, when did you change your orientation? Why didn't I know? The young man subconsciously took 2 steps back. Get lost. You're the one who changed your orientation. I met someone on the way. He's very interesting. I think he's also participating in the martial arts conference. Well, who is it? The young man was interested. Forget it. I didn't find him. I'll tell you when he makes his move. Fatty Luo shook his head slightly. Then the 2 of them entered the crowd again and disappeared. On the other side, Zhou Tian and the other disciples of the aristocratic families were also greeting people. However, Zhou Tian and the others were somewhat absent-minded, as if they were also looking for someone. What's wrong? Why do you look uneasy? Someone asked. Zhou Tian shook his head slightly. Nothing. However, he muttered in his heart, damn it. Will that guy come to the martial arts conference or not? Not only him, but Jade Beauty, Bai Yuran, and the others also looked somewhat anxious. In the depths of Misty Wave Mountain Villa, 2 beautiful women were strolling on the grass. One of them had a cold temperament. She was the disciple of the Alchemy Academy, Chuyu. The other woman was also beautiful. She wore a phoenix robe and a phoenix crown. She had the aura of a superior. She was Princess Kaidai of the Dashuan Empire. At this moment, the 2 of them were strolling. Princess Katie's expression was somewhat serious. She still hadn't found someone who could fight against Jiangnan Tian and Han Li. Therefore, it would be difficult for him to rush into the first echelon this time. Princess Kaidai thought of something and slowly asked, By the way, did the person you told me about come? He should be here, but he didn't report, Chuyu replied. But I think he'll definitely come back. That's because I possess the conditions that he wants. That's good. Hearing this, Princess Kaidai nodded, but she didn't care too much. According to the information she received, that person was at most equivalent to a 2-star king. However, what she lacked the most was someone who could contend against Jiang Nantian and Han Li. Princess, it's almost time. Let's go. Chuyu said. All right. Princess Kaidai nodded. Then, the 2 of them flew into the distance like countless streams of light. At this moment, the crowd in the Yanba Mountain Villa was once again in an uproar. That was because the princes and princesses had all arrived. The 3rd prince was a handsome young man. He held a folding fan in his hand, and he looked extremely confident. Countless experts gathered around him. They were all incomparably powerful, making people look up to them. The 1st prince, on the other hand, was different. He was burly like a fiend god and exuded a domineering aura. His expression was as if he was the ruler of the world. When the 1st prince and the 3rd prince arrived, they looked at each other. With a cold snort, the 1st prince led his talented dancers to a pavilion. As for the 3rd prince, he narrowed his eyes and led everyone to another pavilion. Everyone held their breaths in shock. They didn't expect that the 2 strongest princes would make their move. However, at this moment, someone shouted, Look, Princess Kaidai has also arrived. Princess Kaidai could be said to be a legend. Among the many princes of the Dashuan Empire, she stood in the 2nd tier. She could definitely be said to be a blessed daughter of the heavens. Thus, her arrival caused a huge commotion. Humph, what mysterious expert. He's probably just a coward who hasn't shown up yet. How can someone like him be called an expert? Damn it, he doesn't dare to show up and embarrasses us for nothing. These people were very dissatisfied with the mysterious expert. In the crowd, Fatty Luo also exclaimed softly, his eyes flickering. Why don't you guess who that mysterious expert is? Oh? You want to bet with me? Beside him, the young man said with a smile, I bet that this person is definitely not ordinary. He's already here.